Okay, hello, you guys. We have a special episode today. Shay, let them know.
So, if you cannot already tell based off of Mo and I flyness, we have an episode on Coco Chanel and Elsa Schiaparelli. So, we're very excited about this because Mo and I always talk about these two fashion houses because they are our favorites. I'm Team Schiaparelli, Mo is Team Chanel, but really we respect both of their work. So, let's get
I
into
totally
it.
agree.
So, Mo, what do you think was Coco Chanel's biggest contribution to fashion?
So I have three here, but I'm gonna add one on here. So the little black dress, that's something that's her staple, one of her biggest staples. Chanel number 5, Taylor suits, and then I'm gonna add the Chanel bag, the quilted double flap classic bag with a chain. We all know that if you have one of those bags, you are fashion. So I'm just saying. So that's mine for her. Will she contribute to fashion?
I agree with those. I don't have no disagreement.
Okay.
That Chanel bag is everything.
That Chanel bag is amazing. We've been eyeing it for a long time. So, what's Schiaparelli most innovative design in your opinion?
This was a hard one because I felt like the time that Elsa Schiaparelli was in, that anything like she created was really remarkable. But honestly, I love the hill hat. I thought that because it's innovative in a sense of you also have to get the customer to buy in on the joke, right? Even though it's not a joke, but to say, yes, I have a hill on my head, but I am making it fashionable and I look great in it. So that was one of my favorite things I think was very innovative. I know that people she's known for the crab dress but I agree with Danielle Roseberry that it's honestly not what would stick out to me as her most innovative. So yeah, that's
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Was it a crab or a lobster?
Sorry, lobster. Sorry.
I was like, because I know that they had
Yes.
the lobster phone with
Yes.
it. Because it was in the museum.
It was
I
a
wonder what
lobster.
I
You are
see.
correct.
I wonder where am I going to see it when I'm in London?
It's in the museum.
Oh,
It is.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the museum. So
Okay.
you'll get to see it. The famous lobster dress.
Okay. That dress was cool, though. I will say.
No, it's very cool.
It's a really
but,
cool dress.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for this episode.
Yes.
I love both of them to death.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't have one without the other.
So how did Chanel's personal style influence her designs?
So she was big on comfort. She loved masculinity elements. This is like her personal, like what she loved. She loved like that military because around that time it was like the World War I going on. Timeless, and then simplicity was things that she was into, and it poured into her designs. And I have to agree. I feel like she always had like a beautiful hat on. She wore her suits with the matching skirt, her tweed skirt, like everything was like her. And I feel like that went into Chanel. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Yep.
I love that.
Okay. How did Schiaparelli incorporate surrealism in her designs?
So she did what most surrealist artists did, and that was she used clothing to kind of challenge the reality. And like surrealist artists use their canvas to challenge the reality. And so she made people question, what are they looking at? So like
Yeah.
the lobster dress, like it may seem simple, but if you look at it, like, can you imagine somebody walking down the street in a lobster dress? You gonna think like,
Yeah.
interesting,
Where's she coming from?
you know?
I agree.
And that dress was actually created in collaboration with Salvador Dali. And so that's one of like the clearest examples. And She also created the skeleton dress. That was something else that I really loved, which used like this quilted padding to make the body's bones visible through the fabric. So it was fashion as autonomy, fashion as, yes, that's autonomy. I'll leave it there. But those are great examples of how she challenged reality through clothing. And that's why it goes back to, I think, like any piece that she put her hands on was innovative for that time.
Yeah, I agree.
So what role did Chanel number 5 play in her brand's success?
So I just want to say this. Chanel number 5 was the perfume. And it was a really big perfume at its time when it came out. And even after that. Because I know people today still wear it. But it was the first modern perfume. It was a lot of celebrity endorsements. I think one of her commercials, I think it was in Paris, was like I think it was almost a multi-million-dollar commercial. It was one of the expensive commercials for fashion. And then it gave it a brand identity. Like it gave it its identity. And so it just, so those were the thing that like brung it into success and made it a success for the brand in the actual Chanel number 5. Okay, so number 3. How was the impact of her collaboration with artists like Salvatore Dali?
So Dali collaboration like legitimized fashion as a fine art at the time when the two words were considered completely separate. And it positioned Schiaparelli not just as a dressmaker, but as a creative collaborator and cultural force. So she was not inspired by art, but she was inspired by making it. It also gave her brand a fearlessness. When you're a collaborator, it's one of the most provocative artists in the world. The standard of bold becomes very high. And so that legacy shaped that brand's identity so deeply that the house still operates with the same art. Because let me tell you, every time Schiaparelli has a show, you know it's not going to be a miss.
Yeah, I agree.
It just gets me excited. But yeah.
I agree. She definitely keeps them guessing too. So
Definitely.
I definitely agree.
How did Chanel challenge traditional gender norms in fashion?
So she blurred gender lines, and that's when the Chanel suit came in, and she created in the 1920s. The design featured a tailored jacket and skirt, allow women to break free from the restricted. Sorry, because I got blank. She break from the restricted clothing like corsets. The suit symbolized empowerment and a more practical, modern lifestyle for women. It also challenged the traditional norms of femininity in fashion. And that's why I probably am very big on suits, because like with my grandma, she was very big on wearing like that jacket, that tailor jacket, and that skirt.
Yep.
I used to love when she wore like the pencil skirt. And
the pencil skirt.
she looked just so beautiful every time because she had the most amazing shape. And that's pencil skirt. It was something about that pencil skirt or like that silhouette in her, and also too different times she changed up the skirt, but it was I feel like so elegant and also have a little bit of like that masculine in it. And I also think that sometimes playing with that, and I think Schiaparelli does this too, play with a little bit of masculine as well.
Yes.
So I love that. That's why I do like Schiaparelli too, because I love when a designer play with the masculine, the feminine. They kind of like make them butt heads a little bit. It just makes me excited, and I just feel like it's just that power of fashion, you know. So yes,
and the recent example is with Bad Bunny, and wearing the first suit designed for men by Schiaparelli. It plays with that, right? Because it's very cinched. Right, but it just can't. It was flawless.
It was really nice.
It was flawless.
And he and played with the hat, and I love that. How does Schiaparelli designs reflect her personality?
So everything about her work reads confidence, unconventional, and she really was really unbothered by what anyone else has to say. You could see that in her designs. So she was very witty, and you see it in pieces like the shoe hat. Going back to the shoe hat because I love the shoe hat, the telephone bag that you spoke of.
Was it a bag? It was a bag.
That was a bag.
Oh, what? Not me learning something. I like, yes, a telephone. That's something I'll wear. I'll be like, hello, don't lobster my time. No, I'm
Don't lobster my time. I love that. Okay. I love that. Yes.
But yes. Oh, I love that. It is a first.
It was, humor embedded in all of her designs. And that's what I love because like me in turn, I'm goofy and witty. I could be very reserved, but I'm goofy and witty. So I like Schiaparelli. That's why I love all the designs. So yeah, she was fearless and she did not design for approval. And I think that is what make her very special. So
I love that. And that's why it's good to break some, you ain't gotta be like everybody else.
So Mo, what is your favorite Chanel piece and why?
Girl, I ain't even gotta look at the answer. The Chanel bag. Well, I like the suits too. I used to always tell people, I was like, bury me in a Chanel suit. That's crazy. But look, we all gotta die one day. And I want to be in the Chanel suit. But a Chanel purse, like the double flap, woven or quilted with the chain. I kind of want a silver one too, but I want the gold for the double flap, medium size. Yeah, that bag is mine. Okay, I've been eyeing it. I got a whole purse mood board. And I've been marking off my purses.
Ooh, I love that, a purse mood board.
A purse mood board. Like, kind of like a manifestation purse thing. Because I've been building my purse, like, collection. Because I have all type of bags. And I love a $2 purse. Okay? That's why I was excited about that lobster purse. I was like, I will wear that. But yeah, I would say that will be something that is my favorite. I feel like it's a classic. I feel like every woman that's fashion needs that bag. Like, it's the best bag. So yeah.
Yeah.
I already know what Shay gonna say. She should add to this because she feel the same way. It is so funny.
The bag.
Okay. So what do you think about Schiaparelli using the color and pattern?
Her use of color and patterning just, I think, again, was amazing because it was so creative and going back to it just challenged your thinking. And then the shocking pink, like she owned that, which is very different from other designers during that time because it was more about the elegance and the polished look and definitely wasn't like the in your face wow, but Schiaparelli, she brought that, and I think again it goes back to that's what made her Schiaparelli.
Yeah,
and that's what makes Schiaparelli.
Yeah,
the boldness of use of patterns and designs and things.
I agree. And what I want to say this, what I love about Schiaparelli and Chanel,
immediately,
like even if it's from a red carpet avant-garde dress from a suit, their work. If you into fashion, you just know like that's Schiaparelli. I remember when we was watching a red carpet and I was like, that's Schiaparelli. Like you could tell. And I also was seeing stuff, because we study fashion so much, I was seeing them make it. I watched something with Schiaparelli, and it was like, oh, that's the tears of the skirt, but I didn't know that's how the dress was gonna look. And I loved it. It was like tight in the back, and it was just over the top in the front. I mean, you know, when you see it, So I just wanted to add that onto it. Okay.
So how did Chanel's experience during World War I influence her work?
So like I said before, that's how the little black dress came about, and the suit. Those pieces was to make things because there was so much going on at that time. It changed. It was a newfound of independence, so it changed her view of fashion. She also, that was kind of who she was kind of anyway, so she put it into her designs. And I think to the beginning, to the shift, the war led a shift to women's roles as they began taking jobs traditionally to held by men. The inspo Chanel, it inspired Chanel to create more practical and comfortable clothing. And yeah, because even now, like with so much going on, you sometimes just gotta throw it on. And I think it shift like all the things we've been through. It shift fashion, like what we was talking about. You saying in the 1950s and stuff like that on another episode. I think because so much has happened as time went on, comfortability is best because people are working more.
Right.
People are working long hours. People are stay-home moms. So it's so much different things that is going on. And single moms, too. They dress different than a mom with a nanny. Just saying. So, yeah, I think the world around us shape fashion, too. So, yeah. Okay. What role did her background play in her approach to fashion?
So Schiaparelli was born into an Italian aristocratic and academic family. So she had access to like art and culture and intellectual life from a very early age. She spent time in New York, Paris, London, and those experiences as a global citizen showed up in the breadth of her references and the fearlessness of her perspective. She also was an outsider to formal fashion training. And I think that is what freed her. She did not come up through the traditional system, so she did not feel the boundaries that came with fashion at that time. So yeah, her life as a woman moved through multiple worlds, and she refused to be defined by any of them. And that's exactly why you see what you see in her clothes. And I love that because coming from someone who had access, who had resources, still was able to make a way in a different way and really capitalize on those resources, which we all would want, which is why it's important for you to have access to those resources,
Yeah. And I love that she still shaped herself and didn't kind of fit into that box. She kind of bust out the plastic and was not acting brand new, or she was letting them know this is me. Okay. And I enjoy that, honey. I like powerful women, and I like a woman that just own it and who she is. So that's like a big one, and that's why I am a fan of Chanel and Schiaparelli. They was powerful. They did what they wanted, and that's important in fashion. You got to do what you want. Okay, like I said earlier, I like when I get my way. Okay. Fashion, you get your way.
And you know, Chanel Mo could speak to it. Chanel's humble beginnings played a part into what she did.
Yeah. Resilience.
There you go. So what do you think about Chanel's use of materials like tweed?
I love this question. Chanel used materials like tweed was groundbreaking. She chose tweed for a comfortable, durability, which contrasts luxury fabrics traditionally used in women's fashion. The choice made her designs more accessible and practical. So I enjoy that she thought of things, and she thought of that now and why she was making things. And I think it's so important, just like how I was saying with this outfit that I'm wearing, like I call them chaps, like a different type of form of chap, but that at the bottom, because it's heavy, so it's gonna go down a little bit. But when you are designing and you are a designer, you have to think of things. And I think tweed is like, it's kind of warm, but then it's kind of breathable too. So she was thinking like, okay, if it's a working woman, can she, you know,
Right.
be warm in the, you know, the workspace or what? So she was thinking of all things, and I really enjoyed that about her. So yeah, it was about comfort, you know, and it was about looking rich and classic. So yeah, I love tweed.
Yeah,
It's an awesome
Chanel owned the tweed fabric because when I
Yeah.
look at it, I think Chanel.
Chanel.
I
Period.
do. So.
So yep. How did Schiaparelli work challenge traditional fashion norms? And this is my favorite question.
Yes. She challenged the idea that clothing had to be conventional, you know, when you wear it. And clothing for her, it was a statement first, and the garment was second. So, like going back to the skeleton dress is a perfect example. She used quilted padding to make bones visible through fabric. That's very, very, very unconventional. No one is asking for that, right? Like, and I think that's what I love about that too, in the hill hat, or what it's called. And she also challenged who fashion was in conversation with. So collaborating with surrealist artists, that was new. That was different.
Yeah.
People didn't do that because those were thought as two separate lanes. And so,
And they really not.
and they're not.
They're not.
No.
Even architect goes hand in hand with fashion. So.
Yeah. So she essentially said fashion does not have to stay in a lane. And the whole industry is still benefiting from that argument. And that is true. Fashion doesn't have to. And we still have boundaries that we put on fashion. And we don't have to.
We don't have to. Because we jumping out the plastic. I'm just saying. we ain't acting brand new. We acting like ourselves. Okay.
So how do you see Chanel's influence in today's fashion?
I mean, we know Chanel. Chanel is she has influenced a lot of designers as well. She is comfort, is effortless, it is timeless style. Many modern designs, like I think her name is Stella McCartney. She influenced her. Alex Wang embodied her spirit by blending classic athleisure with her traditional clothing. She focused on empowering women. Love that about Chanel. That's one of my favorite things about Chanel, because I'm very much so team women all day, every day. What is it? Girls are girls. I'm a woman. Like, love. I'm very cheering for my women. The focus she empowered in women. She innovated materials, echoed Chanel's legacy, and she break tradition boundaries in fashion. She highlights her role as a trailblazer in creating modern women's wear. So that's Chanel. Coco, girl. My cat name, R.I.P. Coco. I'm missing my baby. But my grandma, I gotta tell this story real quick. I met her cat. She was a kid, and I was like, "Grandma, why you name her Coco?" She was like, "Coco Chanel." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "You better know." And I was thinking like dire. So she told me later that she was a big fan of Coco Chanel, and that was the reason why she wore her suit, her blazer, and her skirt, because she really loved her work. So yeah, and my grandma was a working woman. She had a couple of jobs, so it made sense when I look back on it. Okay, so what is your favorite piece by Schiaparelli and why?
I mean, this is not a hard one because I've been talking about the hub, so of course, the heel shoe. Like, I just love that piece. Like, it just fits my personality.
Okay.
And then
we gonna have to revamp one for you, friend.
I wasn't trying to give the deets away because I'm already working on something, but
we're gonna have to revamp that.
Yes, and honestly, any piece right now, since Daniel Roseberry has been creative director, I love from Schiaparelli, the house. Because Daniel Roseberry has took Elsa's vision and brought it into the now. And for me, he has not missed the mark, because the blue dress that Zendaya wore recently,
And then the other one there was a product. Ooh.
Okay? Because if you see how they actually made the dress piece by piece, like,
And it's fabric that was like it imitated feathers. It wasn't real feathers.
no.
It was imitating feathers. Like that fashion, you could do anything. You could think it and create it. And that's what I love about fashion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One day, I'll be wearing me some Schiaparelli and I will be at the fashion show.
Yes.
Front row, claiming it.
Yes.
Okay. So, what's the significance of the Chanel suit?
So it shifted women's fashion. It introduced in the 1920s. It featured a tailor jacket and the skirt. It allowed women to move freely and comfortable. This design refined women's fashion by challenging traditional styles. The Chanel suit symbolized women empowerment and independence. It made its timeless staple that continues to influence modern fashion. Yeah. Love Chanel. Okay, so number 9 for you. How do you see Schiaparelli legacy in today's fashion world?
It's everywhere, like you said earlier, once you see,
No.
that's Schiaparelli. And any artist, designer who uses art and combined it with fashion, that's really rooted in that tradition that Schiaparelli created. And going back to Daniel Roseberry, he is just doing an amazing job of keeping that alive. And you also see like designers like Tom Brown. That's also why like Tom Brown under Schiaparelli is like my next top favorite designer, because he is very unconventional on a lot of his looks, and Janelle Monáe just eats it up every time. As well as Tiana. Y'all kill it with Tom Brown.
Yeah.
So she has proved that fashion could be conceptual, intellectual, and deeply personal all at once. And that permission is something that designers are still using today.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So we're about to wrap it up in a little bit, y'all. We almost
number 10,
there.
10, 10. Okay, if you can ask Coco Chanel one question, what would it be?
So I'd be like, hey, Chanel, girl, my homie, no, I'm just playing. But I would say, what changes will you bring to fashion and why? Do you feel like needs any changes and what? That's what I would ask her.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. Because I feel like with her mindset and her being there, and this is why I love the who came and who paved the way for us now, because the way they saw fashion was different, and they was the first to do it. Schiaparelli's, Coco Chanel's, Dior's, all these different houses, they really they created this foundation for fashion and their look of with their line, their collection, whatever it is. And I will want to know like what you think should be different. What can we bring new? Because a lot of stuff has already repeated itself, but it's still people creating new fashion. So what new fashion would you bring till today? Like what would it be? Like I would want to pull and see what designs and sketches she would come up with. Would you still stay in the like masculine and play with a little feminine? Like what would it be? You know? So that's what I would ask her. But I'm going to ask you the same question. If you could ask Elsa, is it Elsa? Elsa Schiaparelli one question, what would it be?
Did she ever doubt herself? Because what she did being so unconventional in a time where that was like a no-no. And, breaking those boundaries in fashion, I can see how that could be scary moments of like, how are people going to view this? Yes, they say Elsa was confident, but do we know that? Do we know like that she never actually thought about something that she did and like had second thoughts about it? So I would like to know that side of like, is there a moment or is there a garment where you actually had second thoughts?
I'm going to ask you another question. What do you think she would say?
I think she would say absolutely. I think
Why?
Because she's human.
There you go.
We all have doubts, especially when it comes to our work, because it's special to us. And the worst thing we can do is present it to the world and have the world tear it apart because they don't understand the vision.
Yeah. So. But she also, I will say, with Schiaparelli, I think she was a trailblazer as well because she didn't care.
Yeah.
She, even though I believe your answer was 110, I think she would, if she was sitting here, she would say that. But she tore down a lot of barriers from, I think she kind of moved in fear. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I'm learning as a designer and, you know, I style and play with costume design still and doing all these things, I'm scared most of the time. I don't know if a piece or something that am I gonna bring it to life? Right. Is it gonna happen? So I feel that you being your true self in fashion, you gotta be fearless, but you gotta understand your fear can drive you to amazing things. Absolutely. So I think you're 100% correct. Yeah. I do. So we love both of them, even though they said they was beefing. I don't know if this is true. I think they kind of put a little extra seasoning on it. But if they was, you know, I really don't know. I don't really want to know why, because I feel like they are amazing artists, designers. I always put artists before design because you need to know that art to be a designer, no matter what. And they are amazing. I love Schiaparelli. I think Schiaparelli is amazing. I love that I know Schiaparelli when I see it. I love Chanel because it's timeless and it is effortless, and she did a lot of things. So I love both, and I think they're awesome. How do you feel? What you got to add to it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, if they did have a beef, I think that it was also the world kind of created that beef, like they do with a lot of celebrities, put each other, because you're trying to highlight one over the other when really you need to just respect that they're actually in their own lane. Yeah, both powerhouses, both like Chanel with jersey material. That wasn't something that most designers were using. So they to me they were very.
And I didn't even mention that. So she just put, I didn't even mention the jersey.
Yeah, so it's like, if they had their beef, who knows, whatever. But I think that they both should be respected for their work. You know.
Agreed. You can't hate on amazing work. Period. That's just how I feel. Somebody has broke barriers and have set a tone no matter what. They are long gone, but you will always know Chanel and Schiaparelli. So I gotta agree with that one, you know. So we are leaving this to you guys, and Shay is gonna close it out, honey, because Schiaparelli and Coco Chanel. Okay, we did that.
Yes, we want to hear your thoughts on Schiaparelli versus Chanel, and not even Schiaparelli versus Chanel. Schiaparelli and Chanel, Chanel and Schiaparelli. How about that? Let us know, what pieces do you love? If you don't know them, you better learn about them. And maybe even try to challenge us on another designer who can get in the ring with them.
I agree.
Until then, subscribe, like, comment, and send us love. Okay, follow us on social media.
And ask some questions that we didn't answer. Because she just came up with the jersey thing, and I definitely forgot to put that on there because it's true. They asked about tweed, though, but jersey was something she definitely came and, brought it to the world. So, yes.
Until next time.
Bye, you guys.